Instagram anyway, whatever. If anybody comes on Instagram, then they come. So hello to all. Today, let's see, it's after 11 o'clock, so I'm probably looking a little bit tired because it's past my bedtime. And I know many of you are just getting hi Ada, many of you are just getting your day started. But I had a client call today and I already told her that I was going to be using something she said, because something she said really inspired me. So I hope that you feel the same way too. Okay. Hi, thank you. Showing me love already. Thank you, Ada. And hi over there, Leslie Nicole. You're on Instagram. But anyway, I'm doing this simulcast on Instagram and Facebook. Hello to Nayad, greetings from Africa, from Tanzania. So anyway, I'm going to share with you what I was inspired by today. So I was talking to a client and she was talking me through a particular issue. And so she used the terminology being the CEO of her. So she's the CEO of her own company. Her own company really means that she's the CEO of herself. So my thing is today that you are the CEO, and what does that actually mean for you in your life? If you're the CEO of you, what does that actually mean? And again, I'm doing simulcast, so you'll see me looking at Instagram and Facebook. So I actually, I looked up, so when we're thinking about our future self, because I will always be talking about future self, that is my thing. This is what I'm talking about. And when you're thinking about future self, you think about in the future, if I am the CEO of me, what does that mean? What does that look like? So, okay, and also I'll just say this. Hi, greetings, Richard Skipper, hi. I'm gonna say this before we get started. I imagine everyone can hear me. I'm just making sure everyone can actually hear me. And if you know of anyone who could, use a word to be inspired, I'm talking about being the CEO. Hey, Rhonda. I'm talking about being the CEO of your own life, because I was inspired by something my client said today. Then tag that person, share this. Hi, my cousin Velma's there. Tag that person, share this with them right now. If you can hear me, I'm assuming you can give me some thumbs up just to let me know that you hear me. If you can hear me, give me some thumbs up to let me know you can hear me, because we're about to hop to this. Because once I hit you with this, hey Velma, once I hit you with this, I'm just saying, okay, you can hear me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, thank you. So here you go. Being the CEO of you. So I was looking up, I'm like, the CEO, I'm like, that is amazing. I love that idea that you are the CEO of you. So what I did was I actually was looking on a job description for a CEO and thinking, how can we align our lives to really mimic and act like we are our own company? What would that sound like? What would that look like? So one of the descriptions said, develop high quality business strategies and plans, ensuring their alignment with short-term and long-term objectives. Hold on. Ensuring their what? Their alignment with short-term and long-term objectives. Let's look at this word objectives really quickly. I used to be a teacher, and for every lesson that we did, we needed an objective. That means you're not doing the activities that you're going to do in the class for no reason. You have somewhere where you're trying to get to. So our objectives used to sound like something like this. by the end of this lesson, students will be able to, and they used to say what the objective is. So I want you to think about something. It goes beyond a goal or a plan. The objective is about what is the bigger picture here? What is the end result? So let's go back to something. Where am I sitting? I'm sitting here right now in Tanzania. This was a goal of mine. Saturday, I'm going to go to where? Well, not like you know. I'm like, where am I going on Saturday? But I'm going to Kenya because that was a goal. However, these are a part of a bigger objective. So I want you to pause for a moment and think about your own lives. Sorry, I'm going back and forth between screens here. And think about your own lives. Think about your purpose. Think about your objective. Yes, you're doing things every day. You're making goals daily. However, what is the bigger picture? By the end of this, you should be able to what? So I can say, with Tanzania, why am I here? My bigger objective was to make a connection with a loved one and be able to bond, or with loved ones and be able to bond with them. So therefore, that was my objective. Coming to Tanzania is aligned. Everything I was doing was aligned to that, making a connection. When I go to Kenya, what is my objective for going to Kenya? Well, I'm planning a retreat for next year. There's going to be more to come about that later. But there's a bigger objective to that. There are goals to help me meet my objective. So let me turn it over to you for a moment. Think about what you do in your life daily. What are you doing today towards your short-term and or your long-term objectives? Are your daily activities aligned with your future self, with your future self objectives? So think about that. And it's about being intentional about these goals. We don't just set a goal just to set a goal and do something just to do it. What is the bigger picture here? So begin to think about that. So when I looked up CEO, another piece that it said was oversee all operations. And it reminded me of something recently that I sent to one of my kids. And I said, make sure you're intentional about everything in your life, because things are going to happen in your life whether you think you're intending for them to happen or not. So what does that mean? So let's look at that again. And those of you who just joined me, we're talking about being the CEO of me. In other words, when you think about yourself as a company and what you are the CEO, and what does that look like on a daily basis. So I looked up the job description, and the second point I'm getting to is overseeing all operations. Hold on, what does that mean? Everything in your life, you're overseeing everything that happens in your life. It made me think about this quote. You ever heard this quote before? There are three types of people. People who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what happened. So when I think about that, and I think about you being the CEO of your own life, and by the way, in case you're wondering why am I looking at two screens, because I'm doing a simulcast with Instagram as well. Are you in charge of all the operations in your life? If you're constantly being jarred and being like, oh, wait, I didn't know. Listen. Let me say this. We can't know the future, right? We're not all empaths, or we're not all prophets or future tellers. However, you ever heard anyone say this? Your environment, everything everything that's happening in your life right now, so many things are as a result of our intention, whether we're aware of it or not. So I had a client the other day who mentioned something about a job that she had, and she had kind of said, I don't want this job anyway. And but she wasn't making any moves to change the job. But she had said she didn't kind of want the job, and she kind of had the red flags. And guess what happened? Eventually, that job went away. You are overseeing all the operations in your life. If you're going to oversee the operations in your life, if you are going to, thank you, Nelson, if you're going to oversee the operations of your life, you need to be intentional about things that you say, about the things that you do, and not being surprised when certain things happen, especially if you spoke them into existence. Your words are powerful. There's a proverb that says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. You oversee your life. You oversee your operations. You are the what? The CEO of your own life. So what's the third point that I looked up? Make high quality investing decisions to advance. It was saying something about advancing the company. I'll read that again. Make high quality investing decisions to advance the company. You are the CEO of you. So with that, I begin to ask you, what investing have you done in your life? Sometimes I like to talk to moms as a mom to a lot of the investments that we've made, right, are deposits into our children, as it should be. Nelson, if you're still watching, I know that you're a brand new parent, and a lot of what you do is investing into that child, right? Because you want to see the fruit of your labor. However, you cannot, as the CEO of you, you cannot ignore, you cannot, you can't be a cheapskate on how you invest in yourself. So let me pause, because I know I'm going on because I'm feeling good as I'm talking. However, what's the last investment that you, hi Lorna, hi. What is the last investment that you made in yourself? Again, as a recap, for those of you who just joined, we're talking about being the CEO of me, being the CEO of your own company, and thinking about yourself as that decision maker. You are the decision maker, but what if you acted like you were the CEO of this company? Who is the company? You. What if you acted like you were the CEO? This last point that I'm making is about making high quality investment decisions to advance, usually we would say the company, but to advance yourself. High quality investment decisions. When is the last time you made a high quality investment in yourself? Especially, and I'll talk again to moms. You ever heard that expression? And pardon the grammatically incorrect way it is, but if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If you're not investing in you, you won't be happy. Happy is relative. Happy is a decision. And what does that investment look like? Well, listen, I come from an education background, so a lot of times the examples that I use are very structured examples because that's the background that I have. And that's the background that I come from. So I may say, what's an investment in you? An investment in you might be a formal class, a formal workshop, something that lifts you up. What's the investment in you? Well, I mean, maybe some of you like to shop. I'm not talking about running yourself into debt, but maybe some of you want to shop or like to pick your things, something up as investment in yourself. I'm not really sure. What is an investment? Something that you invest in yourself. Maybe it's time. Time is simple. Time is precious. And quite frankly, you never get that back. So the quality investment may be something that's not tangible at all, but it may be time. So looking back, what are we talking about here? We're talking about being the CEO. What if you took yourself even more seriously? What if every time you got on the phone, every time you sent off an email, every time you made a decision, you made a decision as if you were a CEO? When you woke up in the morning, you said, I am the CEO of me. What does this look like? And there are many more points I could make, but let's just review. And I'd love to get your input. First is develop high quality strategies, ensuring that they align with your short-term and long-term goals, or with your short-term and long-term objectives. Actually, we talked about the differences between goals and objectives. Think about the objective in your life. What is the bigger picture? Oh, low battery on Instagram. I don't know. That might end relatively soon. But are your plans in alignment with your objectives? What did I say? As a teacher, we had to say, by the end, what do the students get from this lesson? So as you look at your life and as you're looking at your short-term and long-term objectives, what are you really trying to get? What are you really trying to receive? What are you really trying to do? Today I ask you, what objectives do you have in your life? And how are your plans? How are your short-term goals lining up with the short-term and long-term goals, aligning up with the objectives? I said I'm here in Tanzania. This was a goal, but there's a bigger objective. When I go to Kenya, that's a goal, but that's a bigger objective. Second, of being the CEO of me is overseeing all operations. Thinking about overseeing your life. Hey, Yvette. How are you? You have some great pictures. Looks like you're having fun. So overseeing all of the operations in your life. Folks, stop acting like certain things come in your life and you're just surprised. Oh my gosh, I'm taken back by it. Oh, I hated my job. Oh my gosh, I got fired. When you set an intention, it's just going to happen. So what do we say? What's that expression? There are three kinds of people. Say it with me. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder, brown girl emoji, what happened, right? So everything. How are you overseeing the operation? Stop acting like things are surprise. Things are intentional, whether you mean to or not. So watch your words, watch your actions, because especially your words, what I'm saying is that will set a course of action in motion. And lastly, making high quality investment decisions to advance yourself. How are you investing in yourself today? I spoke to moms. A lot of times as moms, we've invested in our children. Heck, my children, some of you know, maybe you don't know, but my children are like older people. And then all of a sudden I turned around and they were gone. And where was the investment in me? So what have you done to invest in yourself? So I am known as Life Coach Alicia, but you know me as Alicia Rodman. This is a part of what I do. Right now, I'm talking to you, and the conversation is pretty one-sided because no one made too many comments. But what do? I help beautiful and successful women to move the needle in their lives so that they can get closer to their future selves. I was inspired to do this today by a beautiful and successful woman who I'm helping to move the needle in her life. And she talked about being the CEO of me, being the CEO of herself. And I knew that this was a message I wanted to bring to you today, whether you're listening live or whether you tune in to listen after I've posted this on my timeline. But this is what I help people do. I hope that you have shared this video or that you will share this video with someone else. I hope that you will tag a fellow person. Oh, thank you, Ada. Thank you, Ada, so much. I hope that you will tag someone who thank you so much. I appreciate the love. I do. I hope that you'll tag someone for this video and tell them as a reminder they can be the CEO of me. There's so much more. I think I will continue this CEO because this is a phenomenal, concept that's not new, but it's something that we can begin to dig more and more into. Again, I'm here in Tanzania, and just as I did the other day, there's a few of you still watching.